if anybody's. They said we'll see if people are actually doing that tonight. It's possible. It's possible. I've never listened. I have. It's just another game for me. I don't. You know,
Yeah.
I think we are. I think we're working here. Let me reload the.
Didn't Halo come out today too?
Halo came out yesterday, I thought, but I'm not sure about that. I'm counting down to I guess it must be Saturday is the new Binding of Isaac release. That's the one that I've been.
I was going to say Fallout. Fallout is going to be pretty good as well.
Fallout looks wicked. You know, I've never completed a Fallout game.
Too long. I haven't either.
I always get stuck. Same with Skyrim. I'm getting my ass kicked in this one frickin' castle in Skyrim, and I can't get past it. But yeah, I'm probably gonna get Fallout and get halfway through it and give up. But yeah, forward to it.
No, so I never got into Fallout. I've been really bad with new gen games. Like I said, for me, it's all been about this stupid Binding of Isaac. No, I'm not gonna play Double Grasshopper. How do I do it? Can I back out? Can I change my mind? There we go.
Yeah, good question.
I figured it out.
You know what would be an awesome Easter egg? Because Robert doesn't have enough to do. Wouldn't you like to have a venue in the game one day with an arcade machine that's actually a 2D version of Pro Wrestling X?
We've been talking about this for some time.
Yeah, I would love to see Robert's take on like a Matt Mania or NES Pro Wrestling version of Pro Wrestling X. You know,
what do you mean by that? Like you saying like the graphics itself, or you saying like the arena just to transform?
No, like an actual legit 8-bit version of the game. You know.
Oh, okay.
Like an Atari game or something like that.
Yeah, NES or something. Yeah, that'd be hilarious, man.
Yeah. It's almost like Action Arcade Wrestling. I think they did that before.
You might have. Yeah.
See,
I don't know. I haven't seen any posts from Action Arcade. I don't know what they're up to. I think the last I saw, Dave Horn was talking about. I think they were talking about calling spots or something during submissions. Or they were going to try some mechanic like that. It sounds kind of neat.
Yeah. I don't understand how Dave. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, M. Dickey was on Twitter last night giving people grief because people are giving him grief about how he guaranteed that his next game was going to be out before WWE 2K16, and so people were like, oh, whatever. And Matt Dickey was just like, whatever, you clown, and doing what Matt Dickey does best, which is give people crap, which was awesome. I favorited about every one of his tweets when he was coming out. 'Cause I was like, I feel you, man. I understand how that goes.
As a fellow programmer, I remember being on the Blitz Basic forums.
Wow.
That dude is Antichrist. He's the Antichrist of the Blitz program.
Yeah,
because people will crucify him. Oh my God.
I said I got no beef with him. I said taking his time and crafting it. I can respect that. We've all been there. So.
Yeah. Matt and I go way back. I've interviewed him a few times for a
one of these days. We got to get him on one of our broadcasts. That'd be kind of a fun Twitch.
I've been trying. We've been emailing each other back and forth. It's just he's in the UK, right? So we're trying to get him to actually hook up with us on Skype is what we've been trying to do. So that would be awesome.
Yeah,
but that brings that raises the subject too that we've been trying to possibly schedule a Twitch broadcast maybe some weekend afternoon or something so we can get some of our UK and that time zone friends.
Yeah, I would love to. Well, like I said, we've been talking about this for some time, but I would love to do an indie wrestling game powwow on
that would be badass.
I would love that. Do some kind of a broadcast, to do some kind of a where everybody's playing their games. I don't know how you do some of Dickey's games, like how you Twitch something like that, but I bet we could figure something out.
Probably. I've talked to Dave Horn and Daniel Hinkle at 5-Star about getting together and doing something collaboratively, for promotion or cross promotion, whatever. And everybody's in. Everybody wants to do it, man.
It's just a matter of herding the cats and trying to get everybody in. So.
Yeah. Are we broadcasting right now?
We are broadcasting right now, but our numbers are very low. You're right. Probably people are playing 2K16 and all that kind of fun stuff. So. It's all good. I figured we're kind of here for posterity. We're here to, just kind of hang. Like I said, even if it's just a short broadcast. While I'm watching the World Series, I got that on in the background. At least I think, I'm going to double check to make sure our audio is going. But
I don't know what happened, but you know, for about 4 months, we were stuck at under 5,000 followers on Facebook. Like literally stuck, like gaining 1 or 2 followers
Yeah.
every week. Right? And then something happened where we gained like 100 in like 2 days.
Well, I think Facebook has issues, or they tweak the, not tweak, but they filter out like who's legit and who's not, and so the numbers do go up and down. So we probably didn't gain 100. We probably just got 100 of them back. The whole
Yeah,
thing makes
really.
my head hurt. What's going on, King Leon? How's it going? We got Robert in here tonight too, so everybody say howdy to Robert. This is the back-to-back Twitch sessions for Robert.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah, well, they're slowly trickling in here, but like I said, yeah, we don't have much in the way of anything new for the game here tonight. We're in progress. We're working on. Well, shoot, Dave, why don't you give them the rundown about what we're currently working on here?
Sure, man. Well, what we're working on right now is Alex and Robert are working on getting the top rope fly moves in. So Alex Cola, he's animated, you know, the movement, hopping up on the top rope, hopping down and whatnot. And he said he's 99% done a moonsault animation for us to start testing in the game. So when Robert has that, he's going to get the moonsault flying move cracking, and if all goes well, that's what the next update will entail. Will be added depth with flying moves, which will be pretty friggin' awesome. So
I
we're
am
looking
ready
forward
for
to that.
top rope moves in the worst way. I am ready. I miss my top rope offense, and it was funny when I was talking to AJ. AJ picked up pretty quick on the fact that hey, it's kind of a lot of brain busters. I was like, hell yeah, we don't have a lot of depth yet. And he's like, okay, so you've only got a couple of moves in place for these things. He's like, yeah, but we got weak and strong. We got, you know, that kind of stuff going. And yeah, for those who missed out on Dave's weekly newsletter, I guess it was my weekly newsletter this time around, AJ Styles happened to play our game this weekend before our Ring of Honor show, which was pretty cool. AJ goes way back with Pro Wrestling X, and it was good to touch base with him again, and I caught him. He was doing an autograph session before the show, and so I packed up all my gear, and Robert the Man scrambled and got me a Mac build for my MacBook Air, and got it working, and yeah, it was fun to watch him play it. It was funny. I set it up, and I basically just shoved the controller in his face and said, "Here, play like No Mercy," and he picked right up on it. He knew exactly what he was doing after a couple of buttons. So, so he was getting it, man, and that was fun. That was kind of a fun little. I was trying to like keep my cool, but you know, it's AJ Styles. I mean, come on.
I know, man. Did he at least, you know, was he able to get a back grapple move in or lock in a submission?
I don't think I showed him back grapples. I don't think I showed him submissions because I didn't have enough time to like wear the guy down to where he'd stay down. I was so mad. But like I said, I was trying to be like, he said he's working, and I was trying to not to be, you know, total mark out dickbag by, you know, bogarting all of his time while he's got to sign autographs for people. And so I just was trying to show him stuff in between, and he would come back and say, all right, show me something new, show me something, you know, show me something else, and
Nice.
all right, we'll see if James pops in the channel tonight. You guys, anybody who's a frequent Twitch broadcast visitor would recognize the name RP Coltrane. He made the drive down, which is about 90 minutes away, and we had our very first official Pro Wrestling X meetup, which I thought was pretty cool. That's hopefully the first of many down the road. I thought it was cool putting names with faces and stuff.
I saw on our Facebook page somebody else from Michigan was.
Oh, no kidding!
Yeah,
That's what you emailed me about that. I did not get a chance to look at that.
Yeah, somebody else was like,
It was like he was constantly trying to get your attention, but nobody was paying him any attention. I was like, wow.
It's because I'm working during the day. I'm trying, but where was he from? Did he say what city he was from?
I don't think so. I think he just said Michigan.
Okay.
I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
he kept saying Michigan. You guys from Michigan, but it's the side posts that you won't hardly see.
I know.
You know,
yeah. Visitor posts don't show up very. They're just tucked off into a corner on the Facebook page.
Okay.
And I don't even get notifications when people post.
Oh, this is just like when people post to your wall.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's all right though. Like I said, We'll make it happen. I've got names and addresses of pretty much everybody who's ever supported us, and so yeah, I think I would love to get some regional meetups going and all that kind of stuff. I think that kind of a thing is really, really cool for building some community. And did you know, okay, going back to chat, do you know some of the turnbuckle textures are upside down? So when you put logos on them, it's upside down. I did not know this. Robert, did you know this?
Yeah, I didn't know that as well, but, you know, it's since the update that is being worked on currently, the apron has changed. I've changed some of the turnbuckle settings and things of that nature, so all this stuff is a work in progress and everything, and it'll be all included in the next update. So all that will be addressed. Matter of fact, the apron that I guess you know, that Alex just created or whatever, I put that inside the game that you showed AJ. That was the new apron.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that going too. I want to get that. I want to do a bunch of aprons too. I think that could be really fun to get a bunch of base. You know, get a couple of really cool rings going and all that stuff. I love this. This blood red ring is my favorite. I think this thing is absolutely gorgeous. I love this, and so I want to try to do a few other ones. I've got some different ideas and some different you know, logos and all that kind of stuff I want to try to play around with. It's just a matter of getting some freaking free time. Thankfully, I'm past one deadline. I'm in the middle of another one, so
nice. I like some of the color combinations people are coming up with. I posted a screenshot to our crew forum earlier. Somebody did a really nice ring with the bright red turnbuckle pads, and it looks so nice against the contrasting ropes. Like, I'm just surprised with such basic options how much different kind of looks and feels people are able to come up with already. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see what people come up with. That's the thing. There's so many. Like I said, the potential for this thing is just so high, and I can't wait to see what people are how creative they are. So it's amazing how far it's come, even in just like the last 3 months. The crowd, I was skeptical about the crowd's impact, but I think it adds so much to the game. I really enjoy it.
It's not bad.
I love the fact that you got like these random chefs and 4-star generals, and it's just, it absolutely cracks me up. Makes me laugh like, every time.
What game was it? I think it was Matt Mania or Exciting Hour Wrestling that had like Darth Vader and ZZ Top in the crowd and stuff like that. And
I do not remember that. I'm trying to get. I don't have a mental image of that.
NBA Jam.
Pardon?
NBA Jam. Oh, are you talking about a wrestling game?
Yeah, we're talking about like the crowd. Yeah, because you're right. It was like an 8-bit in the background, right?
Yeah. I think it was Matt Mania and. Let's see. To Google.
How does that work, Robert? Are these characters like randomly generated from like 8 different outfits and stuff, or is this, or is this just like stock characters that are just randomly placed around the crowd? How does this work?
Oh no. You speaking of the crowd, right?
Yeah.
All this is basically just it's temp. It came with the package and everything and stuff. Right. So, but what I was thinking that I'm not really the greatest artist or whatever. So I was thinking that we should put like pro wrestling T-shirts on them and and everything. Because really in reality it's like the way it's designed. We don't really need so many of those pants, shirts, and everything.
Right.
We could have 3 or 4 characters if we really wanted to.
Check out this image I just posted to the chat room. That's Matt Mania's crowd, and you can see Darth Vader, Superman, I think, is in there.
Let's see if I can pull this up on. I'm going to pull this up on my screen here, just so that we can put it up on chat. I think if I can get.
And Dave, who was that who posted that WrestleMania 21 said that they loved the crowd? Who was that? Somebody put that. I think it was Dave Horn, wasn't it?
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah, I love that crowd. The way that it's like swinging, and you see like lights, the spotlights on the crowd, and they all rabid and crazy.
Yeah, that team too. Who WrestleMania 21? That was done by the guy who had worked on, was it Mortal Kombat or something? Was his resume, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I love the look of that game, man. That game, WrestleMania 21 for the original Xbox, to me looked as good as a 360 game, man. It looked friggin' awesome.
It was way before their time.
Oh, yeah. and some of the venues, like they had a really nice empty gymnasium venue, which was really cool. You could throw a guy into like weight machines and stuff, and
Oh, that's right. Okay, I pulled up the screenshot and put it over our Twitch channel. I can totally see the Darth Vader now. He's like that guy in the left hand
Yep.
side. That cracks me up. See, I love little Easter eggs like that. I would love. Well, I mean, we had talked at one point about putting select fans.
Oh yeah.
In the game, and who knows? Maybe we'll do that someday, because that'd be fun.
Yeah. There's no reason, like I say, we could have a lot of fun with the crowd and the signs. With every update, there's no reason we shouldn't just fill this stuff with inside jokes and Easter eggs. You know, why not?
Yeah, I'm so behind with wrestling. I don't even watch wrestling anymore.
The last pay-per-view was
it's-
fun. The one that was on Sunday night, the Hell in a Cell, was a pretty good show.
I heard it got pretty messy, pretty bloody there.
Yeah, Vince was not too happy backstage, I guess, but because they said they're PG now and they don't do blood anymore. But
Oh my God.
Lesnar
Wow.
and Undertaker both juiced hard, and they claim it wasn't a blade job. They claim it was hard way, but I think I spotted where Lesnar cut. But it was they were both pretty blue, and I'm getting a little bit more squeamish in my old age. It's hard watching the blood sometimes. But it added a lot to the match, and it was like a blow off, and it was a Hell in a Cell, and so it felt right. It felt like that was something that was needed.
Yeah.
Listen, I had a good time watching it, and it's always fun kind of tweeting it up with everybody.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I was always the underdog type. I always wanted TNA to kick WWE ass so bad. But, oh my God, what happened? It's like they're dying. They can't do nothing right. Like, what the hell? It's
I don't mean to sound like, hipster freaking smart mark dumbass, but I really, really was into TNA when they first started doing their Wednesday night pay-per-views, their $10 pay-per-views, man. That was awesome watching Jerry Lynn and Loki.
Oh, yeah.
Styles back in the day. But yeah, what do you do? I mean, when you got like prime time network television spot and you've got Hogan and you've got Angle and Sting and you still can't make a go of it, then I think call it a night.
Yeah, it's, like I said, I root for the WWE. I am not a hater by any stretch of the imagination. When they do it right, when they do something correctly, it's better than any other promotion. It's better than anything else, just based on just the size of the crowd, the production values, all of that stuff. And like I said, yeah, they have their clunkers and they do a lot of dumb shit for their Raws and all that stuff. But when they do it correctly, like if WWE has a good match, I think it's better than anybody else's in any other league, just based on the fact that it's bigger, it's better. I don't know. Like I said, sometimes you get the overall presentation really does make a difference. But
you see, and to me, I'm 90% of my wrestling entertainment is in the form of the interviews and documentaries on the WWE Network.
Now I am absolutely agreement that the new stuff they keep churning out, like the Table for Three series, is so much fun. I think that's a riot. I think the rivalries, the new show that they've got called Breaking Ground, they previewed that. It's basically behind the scenes of NXT. And it looks phenomenal.
Wow. I haven't seen that.
I think that actually just debuted last night. I think they did a preview of it, like a 20-minute preview of it after the pay-per-view. And I think it debuted after Raw last night. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But the Table for Threes, did you see The Miz, Ryback, and R-Truth, I think it was? No, it was Axel, R-Truth, and The Miz. I would first was like, really, this combo? Really? Are you kidding me? And I sat there and I must have had like tears coming down my eyes for like 20 straight minutes because R-Truth is just bad shit, man. It absolutely cracks me up.
That was a good one. I saw about half of that one. But yeah, that's the kind of shows. Like I dig just sitting there listening to wrestlers talk about wrestling. To me, is more entertaining than watching most of the matches.
They're just not the same.
Jumping
It's
back
just
to
not the same.
chat, sorry, I want to make sure we get all the chat questions in. Hey guys, in the future for ring, we'll be able to change the turnbuckle pad size, or even change the ring from 4-sided to 6-sided. Absolutely, that's the goal. That's the goal.
Six-sided ring. We haven't discussed the mechanical problems and challenges with just dropping a 6-sided ring in.
Right. I was
But,
to say that's the goal.
yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah, it's the goal. But we've talked about different models for the turnbuckles and the corners and that. So you can do like a pride ring, boxing ring. You know, you can even in the future, you know, be able to change out the ropes with barbed wire or like fencing. You know, if you want to do like a MMA or something. And Jesus, you got a horror show going on. In the
I
ring
know
here.
it's a splatter fest. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I love it.
I'm missing some. I've got the World
My
Series
butt.
on in the background, and apparently I'm missing a lot here. This is driving me crazy.
Oh, did you hear? So I guess, what was it? October 21st, 2015, Back to the Future 2?
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, that was
so-
everywhere. You couldn't escape that shit.
Yeah.
That was because it was for the longest time. It was for the longest time. There was so many bad Photoshop jobs on that one, because the people would keep changing the date and to be whatever day it was. And so for like 5 straight years, everybody's like, "Oh, today's the day he come back in a time," and nope, last night. So they had a whole media blitz, and you couldn't escape it. It was pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
They even showed up on him and Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd showed up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
was, or not? Was it? It was Kimmel.
It was Kimmel. It was Kimmel. And they looked good, man.
It was.
They
It was
looked good.
funny.
It was
It was
really good.
legitimately funny.
You know, and who was it? Michael J. Fox. He wasn't with the Parkinson. He wasn't really showing no signs of it either. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's doing great, man. He doesn't look like he's aging very terribly quickly. You know, he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, he was
we got a
good.
question in the chat room. If we can see, take a look at the moonsault. Alex hasn't actually given us yet a look at the moonsault, so we don't have an animation we can show.
Yeah, and
anybody
he's
yet.
not here tonight. He's working a little OT at the day job. So
He's working overtime for the evil empire, man. So he's got to pay his bills.
it's all right. Make that paper. You know, it's all good.
Yeah. Drop kick.
Yep. Yep.
I can't wait until I can walk over, pick up a section of that crowd barrier, and beat the shit out of somebody.
I said I think that's one of the things I can't. I think these are all the fun things, is being able to interact with environments. I think that could be a really fun. These are all just like these next little steps, and they probably sound super simple for me. And Robert's like, oh my god, it's gonna pull my hair out. But
Yeah.
Oh no, it sounds fun to me. I think it's more just in the animation and everything. The one thing that I always wanted in a wrestling game was, you know, when you beat an opponent so much, and then you'll see like the paramedics come out and.
It's so funny because that actually happened. Vince ordered the doctors to go out and wipe the blood off the face of the wrestlers.
What?
I kind of thought it was a work, but no, it was. I guess it was apparently legit. Well, I mean, because I get it. I don't agree with it, but I understand what the concern was. And but yeah, because your first thing you want to make sure that the wrestlers are all right, because some of those guys can get a little when they gig hard, and it can get pretty ugly pretty fast. And I think so he's going out there. So yeah, they actually sent doctors out there. But I mean, I think there could be something like that. That could be like either a some kind of a medic, or the other thing I think would be pretty funny is I am still a mark for the original Super Nintendo, or for the original Nintendo Pro Wrestling, and where they have like camera dudes on the outside. I would love like cameramen that you could like accidentally run into and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah, I'd like to see the match from the cameraman's point of view. He's a cameraman.
absolutely. Why the
Cut
hell
to the
not?
camera.
It's just another
Are there-
camera.
Another question: are there plans to add more crowd members and rows? Yeah, there's plans, but we haven't built out the arena that far yet. You know, Alex, he wants to build out, obviously, like a standard sized arena with the lighting rigs and the farther crowd members and the higher tiers. But he hasn't built the venue out yet, so there's no need to worry about crowd yet for that.
We have a few alternate rings, alternate arenas in the pipeline, like have been designed over the years, but nothing ready to go.
No, I would love to. I would love to one day bring back the Hammerlock, you know, and
Absolutely.
with this generation of freaking
Balcony
the way
dive?
the
Are you
game
kidding
looks
me?
now. Well, we had plans to not just do balcony dives, but actually like bust through the railing and that, and you know that door at the top of the stairs was supposed to open to the outside, so you can go fight in the parking lot. You know, we had big plans, but we had big problems, so we didn't get that far.
That's right. Yeah, we're getting there though. I mean, I said this has been a lot of fun to play the new versions and just kind of see the different stuff with different progress. I feel bad. I know we've kind of run the same build, you know, the past couple of Twitch sessions, but that's all right. We're, you know, everybody's trying to get caught up with, you know, all the different animations and moves, and so it's hard. I mean, everybody's trying to do the best they can, working part time with all this stuff, you know.
We're going to be it's going to be crunch time as we get towards the holidays and people are going to start traveling again, you know, family time and that. We'll see what we can get done, but you know, we've got our roadmap, we've got our to-do list. We're not twiddling our thumbs wondering what to do next. We've got a plan, so we've just been executing on it step by step, right? So
I think top rope moves I think will be sweet. I'm really looking forward to that because that's and especially, like I said, these wrestlers themselves look like they deserve to be flying off the top rope.
Yeah,
Even if it's
we've got these awesome luchadors, you know. They haven't left the ground yet. Yeah.
Yep. So we'll get there. It's all. I mean, I said this is what we're doing, and we're just trying to get the mechanics built out, and then we can start working on some depth. But
you know what's so crazy, because our reputation is so good of sending out updates that I guess when we take our time, it's unnatural for us.
Yeah, that's nice reputation to have, eh? For it finally.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one. Somebody asking if there's any more weapons to do after the kendo stick, and what we're probably going to do with the weapons is you've got at least 3 different classes of weapons. You've got the baseball bat grip.
Yeah.
You've got the steel chair grip, two-hand grip kind of weapon.
Yep.
And then you're going to have special, like for things like the size of a ladder or a table, but we're not getting that far with 1.0, right? So we're going to stop with the kendo stick until we finish off all of the 1.0 checklist. Then we can circle back and maybe look at doing the two-handed grip class of weapons and that. But when we do the weapons, even for 1.0, it's going to be pretty basic, you know, just you know, swing and beat the guy with it. But we actually want to go as far as do some cool stuff. Like I look at games like I think Day of Reckoning 2 did it really good, grapple moves with the kendo stick and the weapons and that. You know, they did some cool stuff.
Did they have destructive weapons in that one?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And nothing was more satisfying than a running kendo stick attack. Oh my God, you would wind up and whap, you know, and that sucker would splinter. That was awesome.
Yeah, because I think that could be pretty cool. Because you know, you always used to like the old 8-bit days where you like the weapon would drop and then like blink and then it would go away.
That's why I know people were freaked out. Like when we did when we added the blood, it was almost assumed. You know, people were asking like, how much blood can be left on the mat before it has to disappear? And what people don't realize is, shit, man, this is PC these days. It doesn't have to disappear. We can paint the whole arena red, damn it. You know, so it's awesome to be have that kind of horsepower, and you don't have to deal with stuff that wrestling gamers have been, you know, have to deal with, like limits on the amount of weapons in the ring or limits on the amount of blood in the ring. You know, like obviously there are still limits, but they're so high these days that you know, it's a whole new experience. And
yeah, now if you was on Windows 98 and things like that, you would have a problem. You shouldn't be on something like that, you know, in this day and age. So anyway, I don't think the game can even work on that. I don't think.
Yeah, I haven't tested it.
Yeah.
Remember, Eric, you had a problem. I'm thinking you was on Windows XP or something. You was trying to test out the game, but it wasn't working too well for you, or that was Windows 7.
Boy, it was Windows. Yeah, because it was on my current setup that it wasn't working, and I can't remember what we did to fix it. But there was one particular build that just was not like it was an early build. We just could never get it running. But
right.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking, will the kendo stick be in the ring, or will you wait till you can go outside, to get the weapon into any kendo stick? I think for 1.0, I think the easiest road to completion here is just, we'll have the kendo stick maybe just sitting in the ring, so you can pick it up and bash a guy with it, and then as we get to exiting and entering the ring and apron moves and all that stuff, then we'll probably talk about, okay, can we pick the weapon up from the crowd barrier or under the ring, or how do we want to do it,
Yeah, under the ring always made sense to me. Because I remember No Mercy was in the crowd, right?
Yeah. All the Aki games, I think the weapons came from the crowd barrier, yeah.
Yeah. World Tour started.
Nothing made more sense than Sting pulling a stop sign out of the front row, right?
I loved the stop sign. That was my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
It made that weird sound. I loved it.
Cring.
Because you had the double wind-up. It was great.
What's funny, man, is I go into like video game stores, that sell used stuff, and SmackDown games for the PlayStation 2 and whatnot are like $1.99, but World Tour, Revenge, No Mercy, you're still talking 40, 50, 60 bucks.
What?
Yeah,
What?
they're pricey, man.
Wow. I guess it's the cartridge that costs that much, but I can't understand why it would be that much after these many years.
Yeah, well, they're not making any more of them, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the scarcity. I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I'm glad that.
And nobody sells their No Mercy. Nobody sells their World Tour. Nobody sells that. They hold on to those games.
And what's crazy, man, like back in the day, I'm glad I did it. I would order factory sealed. I had Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 and that, like from Japan, and I can't get over just how epic like the instruction manuals are and everything that used to come with these wrestling games. Like they would have the entire move sets of all the wrestlers charted out, and it would be like a thick phone book for a freaking instruction manual, that came with the game. You didn't pay extra for it, It was awesome.
Yeah, I remember those. I remember just the pride of getting an import game. I remember having my PlayStation 2, and I would have to hack my PlayStation 2 to actually use. It was some disc you use or whatever, because I was getting King of Colosseum.
Swap disc.
And the swap disc. It was the red and the green of King of Colosseum. Just having that in your hand, it was just felt like you were part of something elite. And
dude, I remember. I was living in Vancouver at the time, and I had actually got a copy of King of Colosseum, right? And I couldn't play it because, I didn't have a modded PlayStation, and it was still kind of, you couldn't openly just ask people to mod your PlayStation back then. They actually did crack down on that stuff back in the day, right? So I remember going to this guy's house, and he was like an old man who was modding PlayStations for extra money on the weekend. And I remember sitting there, and he's like, "Okay, you come back in half hour." I'll come back half hour, and I left him with my King of Colosseum disc, right? So there I am, I go and I drive a half a block down the street, and I wait in my car like a shady drug dealer or something, and I come back in a half hour, and it was like a freaking movie. He opens the door, to his little workshop, and there on the screen is the opening sequence, King of Colosseum playing. I'm like, oh my god, look at that! That's just unbelievable. I just marked so hard for that opening cinematic for King of Colosseum. It took itself so seriously with the freaking classical opera music and everything. Like it was pretty crazy. Man.
Yeah, because the game was everything. It was a shoot fighting game. You could do technique styles, and it was just so much in that game or whatever. I remember, I think that's the game where you will like do a suplex, but you can transform it to something else, something bigger.
That's why we reanimated different spots in our Brainbuster for modification, totally lifting the idea from the King of Colosseum games, man. We want to do the same kind of thing. But yeah, I know what you mean. It was a really, really deliberately paced game. Like, you couldn't have a really quick like lucha match in that game. Things plotted along pretty deliberately, but it was great for like Japanese heavyweight style games, man. It's friggin' awesome.
Was that the one that you said had the best Vader?
No,
that best Vader I think was
what's the
All
game?
Star
Giant
Pro Wrestling.
All Star.
It was
All-Star
Graham. Maybe it was
Wrestling.
Graham that you said had the best Vader.
Yeah, it was Graham. Oh my God, yeah, Graham Vader was really
Yeah,
badass.
Giant Graham 2000 for the Dreamcast had a really wicked Vader. It had King Kong Brody. Oh my God, it was so good. Yeah, man, you guys are making me. I'm looking at my consoles right now. I think I gotta boot this shit up after we're done.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have to dig my Dreamcast out of here because you gave me all those games. I've got to get just have like a nice little session with some of these things.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I remember my first match in Fire Pro Wrestling D. Had my ass handed to me for about 3 days before I figured out the timing.
Hey Dave,
Everybody
I remember
does.
my cousins. My cousins used to come over, or whatever, and I used to have a Fire Pro. So when you got Fire Pro, you think you're the best on the planet or whatever. Like you got to be really skilled at this game. So I remember getting the game or whatever. I would play Fire Pro like on a difficulty of something like 3 or whatever. And my cousins were like, "Oh my God, you can play this game really good." So what I would do when they would play it, I would turn the difficulty all the way on 10. And they would have to play.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
jerk.
cold.
What a jerk!
They said, "I don't want to play this game no more. I hate this game."
Oh man, I remember going to get. I forget what happened, but I lost my copy of Fire Pro D, or it scratched some, and I went to an import shop to get it. And the guy behind the desk was such a comic book store guy. Yeah, he was such. Oh, this game. Oh, this 2D wrestling game. Oh my God, can you believe they still make these crappy 2D games? Jesus, I'm like,
We should be
Yeah,
like,
wow.
yeah, take it off your hands for like $3. Just I'll help you clear out the inventory.
God.
Exactly. If you don't want it, I'll take it.
Question on chat. Any special events going to be added after 1.0, such as slamming your opponent through the ring or ripping up the canvas to expose the wood? You know what? I really dig moments like that, and I'd like to add
That's
some
coming
little
from
Easter-
somebody who watched the pay-per-view on Sunday. That's what Brock did. He tore the ring up and kind of did the old F5 on the boards. It was a really cool visual.
Ooh, that's cool.
And the reality of it, those things are not even difficult to program.
know.
It's extremely easy to program. It's just if the programmer is lazy and don't want to do it, but it's really easy to program those things.
You see,
to
now
break a
you,
ring
now
like
you
that.
painted yourself into a corner, Robert. Now you have to make yourself not lazy, and you got to do it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was making, how I do it, whatever. So I would just make something, and Coda's like, we got to go back and, do the artwork and things like that. But yeah, I can definitely do that. I can have it to where the ring break and the wrestler will fall underneath it, and I guess the match will be called off at that point.
I want to still. It's been. I don't think it's been since SmackDown 2 where you could take the turnbuckle padding off the top turnbuckle. It's been a while since you could do that in the game. I want to be able to do that too. But then we need the Aki freaking head smash into the turnbuckle animation. What other game has that? I don't think any good game has that. Where you grapple your opponent on the other side of the ropes and then you run down the apron and smash his head into the corner.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The apron grab, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think any other game had that move like that.
Yeah, I want our game to advance to where you can run. Remember in playing WCW Revenge where you will run and you will slide under the ropes, go for a springboard drop kick and hit the opponent while he's running towards you?
Yeah. That was
Really good in timing with that.
Man, these camera cuts are looking good in this build.
I told you I am a fan of the camera cut. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I really do think it adds a lot.
It depends on. Yeah, I dig it.
And especially when we get more moves, I think that's really where it's going to kind of really start shining. I think,
Yeah.
like I said, when you just keep the Brainbuster over and over again. But I'm trying to mix it up. I'm trying to do a lot of the. I always forget where the snapmare is. And that's a weak grapple, but I think you have to hit like a weak and then a side. I think, if I remember, but it's fun. I said this is what I need on a nice Tuesday night. I got World Series on in the background. I got chat. I got
There you go.
wrestling game. This works for me.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, I just hope that, it seemed like the society, that what we have is something that goes in reverse every, 10 years or every decade. Because if you think about it, we was living in an era to where in the 90s where everything was against the wall, people didn't care and things of that nature. But then it's like in the 2000s, people became more politically correct and, you say certain things and you offend people. But I think with Donald Trump, I think he's creating a whole new
Oh God! Don't talk
era.
about that
He's
bozo.
bringing-
Jesus Christ! The guy's a fucking moron.
This
He wouldn't run anyway. He is just having the time of his life. He's treating it like he's trolling all of us. Is what he's doing.
Yeah, I think so.
He really is. He really is. But man, he's so entertaining, and it's so crazy because every time he go for something like when he go one of his rallies, he always say something about like I'm up on the polls, and they say this like anybody want to hear that? Like he's just bragging about himself. He a narcissist.
Dope, yeah.
No one cares
Yeah.
about.
Dope.
It's crazy the way things are politically. I mean, I guess, being up here in Canada, I don't know what it's like down in the States, but in Canada, for the last 10 years, it's been a pretty conservative government. Like, literally, it has been the conservatives in power, and people thought that was just the establishment, and it wasn't going to change, It was almost...
Yeah, you guys pulled off a pretty big upset up there, from what I heard.
Crazy, like it's unheard of. It's the biggest voter turnout in 40 years or something like that, and it was just unanimous, wiping the floor with the conservatives, and people put the liberals, which is like the Canadian version of Democrat, right? Put them in power, and nobody saw it coming, really. Like the conservatives actually called the election. That's the way it works up here in Canada. When you're in power, you can decide when the election's going to be, right?
Really?
So
wow. Okay.
Yes. So the conservatives called the election, thinking, okay, we're going to call it because the polls say we'll win, and nope, it was ridiculous. It was something like 9-1. Ratio of votes for liberal versus conservative. Yeah. So I don't know if it's a changing tide worldwide or if it's just a Canadian thing, but
I think it's just a Canadian thing. I think that it's all, or at least in the States, it's pretty regional. You've got some areas that will never elect a Democrat just because we've gotten so polarized. It's so unfortunate because good moderate Republicans are getting driven crazy by the Tea Party, and they're getting kicked out. And then the same thing for like the moderate Democrats. They feel like they have to go to the far left. It's like, hey, just my kingdom for some moderates. I just want middle ground. Work together, please. And I think most people.
Well, you see, that's the way it was here regionally. Like I live in Alberta, which is like Canada's version of Texas, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. Hardcore conservative cowboy ranchers oil country, right? Conservatives have ran virtually unopposed. In fact, the most recent election here, the conservatives didn't even show up for the debate. They were that cocky, and they won. But people were so pissed off at the most recent election here regionally. Again, they completely took the conservatives out of power and put a socialist party in power. Like it was, and it made national headlines here that Alberta, unceremoniously showed the conservatives the door after decades of unopposed power. So who knows what's going on in the world, man?
Yeah, the whole thing is that I'm on a nice little news sabbatical. I'm all the cable news, all that stuff. Like I said, my Facebook feed is just out of control, and I think it's.
So what's your prediction? What's your prediction, man?
I think Hillary Clinton's going to be president. I think
really?
I think we got a year. I mean, and I think, but I think I don't think anybody on the Republican side. I just don't see them crossing over to go. They've painted themselves into these corners where they just have to seem to out crazy each other in order to get the nomination in the first place. And then
I hear Joe Biden is running as well.
Biden's done. He already announced that he wasn't going to do it. He's out.
Oh, really?
You have to if you're gonna run for president, you got to have all the machinery in place 2 years before you run. You got to have all your volunteers. You got to have all the strings for the cash and all that stuff. So you can't just get into the race. It's a little weird, but I liked Biden. I think some of that was a little bit too good to be true. I think he's a nice guy, but he's just hey, I don't think I can win. I'm he had all that stuff with his son and all that stuff, and I think that takes a lot of the fight out of you when you lose a son like that. That it's.
What do you think about Sanders, man? You don't think this Bernie Sanders guy stands a chance, or he's just an outlier?
I think he's too far left. I don't mind, and I agree with a lot of his policies, but I don't think there's a chance that anything would ever get done. I think the Republicans are going to control the Congress, and it's just going to be more gridlock. I think whether I don't really like Hillary all that much, but she proved her mettle in these little. They had a Benghazi hearing that. All the right wing folks were getting like in a lather about that they just couldn't wait to, and Fox News ended up like backing away from the coverage early because Hillary was just like toying with these guys, and I was like, huh,
you see the coughing? There's a coughing thing that she just kept coughing out of nowhere.
I said I didn't really watch it. Like I said, I was just, but they said by all stretch, she's just like toying with these guys, and I was like, you know what? All right, if you can go put on a show in the Wolves Den like that, all right, I got some respect.
I saw one clip. I mean, here she is, testifying in front of Congress, and she literally answered a question with like, you know what? Why don't you just go read about it in my book? Oh, that's cocky. But hey,
shit! Come on, Kansas City. I'm sorry. I'm watching. I got. Thanks for the heads up. I'm watching the. Oh God, everybody's like politic wrestling acts. We might want to like freshen it up.
I'm going to have to actually sign off here in a bit. Let's take care of some questions here. How come crouch to low blow was changed so it only happens when attacked?
Like as a defensive move. I think that's how it's always worked, hasn't it? That's never been an offensive move that you could just drop down and nail somebody in the balls.
No, it was always a recovering attack. You would. Yeah. So I mean, if people want the option, not that we're going to be wishy-washy about it forever, but the way it works now, I think works cool.
Yeah,
I just think we got politically correct and wanted to go the route of no mercy, and so we just took that out and everything.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's a good legit. I mean, like I said, I think that feels like the time. You don't want to just go around and have it be like an offensive move. Yeah, I think it's a good one when you're trying to which is exactly what they do in fact, was the finish for the Undertaker Brock match. Brock just dropped to his knees after Undertaker was beating him down and just hit him right in the balls, gave him an F5, and that was the finish. And so I think it's designed. I mean, it feels like that move is designed for when you're in trouble and you need to bail your ass out. Boom, nut shot.
Another question. What would be fun? I know in Unity, which is the game engine we use, you can rip cloth. But a mode where if throwing your opponent into a ring post, it falls over and messes up the ring, like a destruction mode. Oh yeah, you just mean destructible environments. So we were talking about this where you could maybe, bust a ring post or something. And it's all possible. We just got some core game mechanics to take care of before we can do, exploding rings. But believe me, I want that Fire Pro C4 on the floor match for sure.
Yep. Say the C4 match has to enter the 3D the 3D world and the modern game environment.
And we're going to straight Matt Dickey with it too, because Matt Dickey have the limbs come off, and we're going straight with that one.
Oh man,
definitely going with that.
What we have to do is we have to do the explosion, and then we have to do the sound effect like ringing in your ears, because that's what they always said. They always say that those things are like, because who was it? It was I remember playing Battlefield 2. This is how old I am. Battlefield was that was the Battlefield series that I played a lot, and when people would drop like little stun grenades, and your vision and you hear all you hear was like, and it was like your ears were just ringing like crazy, and I always thought that would be a pretty fun route, because they always said that's what Cactus Jack put that in his book. They talked about when those C4 goes off, it's like the loudest noise ever, and it's so disorienting. We got Joe in chat bringing back the jam tart.
Of course, man. I wouldn't mind playing around with stuff like that. Why not when you're in a sleeper hold? Let's have the screen blackout. Sure. Let's fade to black and make it dramatic. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, I still want refs. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, we got referees, man. I'd want managers that can actually, affect the match.
Managers would be fun too. That would be fun. Has there been a manager in a game, other than like No Mercy had managers to an extent, right?
Yeah, you could. You had
someone would call out. Yeah, that's right.
But I'd like to be able to distract a ref, or hand the guy some brass knuckles,
Legends of WrestleMania had managers to where they can get on the apron, distract the ref,
Yeah,
pull the
yeah.
leg.
Man, I forgot about that game. Jeez, that's
Yeah, I know.
Legends of WrestleMania. It filled this weird little niche where it was kind of like a serious game, but it was more on Legends. So it was, yeah.
Was that the one where the dudes were all kind of puffed up a little bit, like overly
No,
inflated?
no,
that was
All
All Star. That was
Oh,
All
that was
Star.
All Stars. Okay. Okay.
No, yeah, All Stars, which another game that kind of came and went. A new ring shown on Facebook today is nice. Will that be the next update? Or other rings made? Actually, that I showed that just because Cola had posted it to our crew forum a couple weeks ago, and I didn't see it. He was fixing the apron, I think. Texture.
Oh, it's already in the game. Yeah, it's already in the game. That's the one. Like I said, that was the one that Eric showed AJ.
Yep.
Was the new apron.
Yep, that was the one that I had the
Yes.
Mac build for, but this is the newest PC version that I had. So
Speaking of Mac build, I know that we put one together so we could show AJ, but let's have a little mini crew meeting here while we're on Twitch. What do you guys think about when we can pull the trigger on actually releasing a Mac build to Steam? Wait till 1.0 or
I can't speak for
now,
Robert, but what the ninja tricks that I had to pull off to get the Mac build to work, like just native, like using the same code, that I don't want to force gamers to buy a $5 app.
Yeah,
just to be able to
I agree.
remap some controls. So
Because what's going to happen? I don't know if I'm going to go deep into it while I'm on Twitch, but it's I guess Mike left some really good assets that he said that we had a problem with the Mac on the original game, so try this out. But I never got around to it because we just focused on the Windows version. But he said that this covers Mac, Windows, Linux, and everything. So just one implementation of that, that asset, and everything will be fixed. We'll be rock and rolling. I mean, on every build with Mac and everything. So.
Yep, and then people would also be able to like remap their controls if they wanted to do a different keyboard setup or something like that. They'd be able to do that kind of stuff too. What I had to do is I had the biggest trick is I had a piece of software that ties your it was a free utility that tied your USB controller to the Mac so that you could read it okay. The problem was getting that input into the game because the controls would work. Like I would without the $5 add-on, I could move the guy around the ring, but I could never get the buttons to activate. And so it was just kind of cumbersome. But once I found this utility, I was able to get it working without any problems whatsoever. And so I just didn't, and I think Robert's on board with this too. Is like I just didn't want to force somebody to pay $5 in order to be able to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll get there. I'd say at least at 1 till 1.0 is when I would say.
And what really cripples me, because I don't have any Mac. I don't have nothing up at all. I'm all Windows, so I can't really test it on my side. I can only go through Eric's feedback and everything. So
Yeah, same with Linux, right? Like we want to support Linux, but I don't have a Linux box.
Yeah,
here
neither
that-
do I.
Yeah.
so
But we'll get
You
there.
know.
Like I said, it's and what's nice is though, like I said, I think for the most part the game is going to the game itself is going to work just fine across all the platforms. It's just a matter of getting that last hurdle with the controller schemes working, and then it'll be fine. I think that's going to be our only barrier. So there's, that's probably a lot of heavy lifting in order to get that done. But like I said, there's going to be some of the stuff we're going to have to go through and kind of clean out old code anyway, and so there's going to have to be some janitor servicing done at some point. So that'd be a good time as any to start looking at some of that kind of stuff and getting the controls straightened around.
Oh, please do, Eric. I'm out of the font. We need to change the font up really bad and everything, because it's almost like every build that we release is the same font system.
Yeah,
I wanna go something
we're
like-
limited with fonts that we can use, though. That's the downside.
Oh,
we got to go.
well,
What we have to do is we have to use something that is like publicly, like it has a license that we're allowed to embed it in our game. And so we can't just grab any font that we find on the internet and plunk it in there, because then we get into hot water legally. But this font right here is clear, it's clean, it supports all the international characters, which is kind of nice, so that if people have accents over their stuff. So what we have to do is, like I said, we're going to clean up the UI, we're going to get a lot of stuff straightened around, but that's just kind of following the philosophy of make it pretty right at the end.
Yeah.
Because you've been rocking it out as far as the functionality goes, and now it's time for me to start lifting my, carry my weight and pull my weight and get the user interface all straightened around. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
We are getting there. Things are going great, and it's nice to actually be able to have these Twitch broadcasts and actually talk about the progress we're making instead of making excuses for why nothing's happened in 6 months, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well,
we're at the hour mark here. You want to take any last questions here?
Somebody said they loaded up the game and don't see the new ring. I don't know.
No,
the new ring's not there yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's coming in the next update, right? Okay. You're just saying that's what AJ saw. Yeah. Okay. But since you showed the long shot, but since you showed the game to AJ Styles, possible AJ Styles inclusion in Pro Wrestling X. Well, anything's possible. Yeah. I mean, we're talking to the guy, so. Who knows? I wouldn't turn down the opportunity, but although you talk about the reality of the situation, you want to put AJ Styles in our game.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what path you're about to go down to.
Yeah, it's gonna take time and money to do it right. You're gonna want his signature moves in. You're gonna want those animations, and animations are done by animators who need to eat.
And that will suck for Cola. That will suck ass because what he have to do is get the Styles Clash, and he have to do all his signature moves and a Spinal Tap. And I don't think he's gonna want to be just working on that. Just want to be for one wrestler.
Well, that's just it. Like the Styles Clash, we animated the Styles Clash for our for Pro Wrestling X Uprising, and that was a 4-day gig to animate the Styles Clash half decently. It takes time to do big intricate moves like that, right? So, long answer short, I'd love to do it, and if it's possible.
Actually, 4 days isn't even that long if you think about it. It's like you do something for 4 days and that would last a lifetime. Like you're going to keep the animation and it's never go.
Yeah, all right. I know what you mean. And when you invest the time and you got the asset, then it's great to have for sure.
Yep.
Any other questions here? Someone, Joe asks, I wonder what it would cost to get him in the game officially. Well, that's a funny question. You're talking about actually like paying a wrestler to license his likeness, and that's probably the cheapest part of the whole transaction. It would cost more to do the art and animation than it would probably cost to get an indie guy's permission. There's stories that. I don't know how much wrestlers usually get paid to be put in a wrestling game, but I know that Mick Foley for 2K15 he wanted to pull his contract. He was so upset at how little he got paid to license his likeness for that game. He was not happy at all, and I've heard stories, Legends of Wrestling, where guys like Jake the Snake Roberts got $500 for his license, which seems pretty reasonable.
That's bad. I mean, that's taking advantage of a guy who's had hard times.
Yeah, but
I guess so. But it's not that bad to me if you think about it. I mean, think about all the legends that was in that game, and only that, the claim they was not in the best financial position either. So
But you add it up too. I mean, if you add it all up, if you were to license 40 wrestlers for your game at $500 a piece, then that's a lot of money, even though it seems like very little money individually, and then are you going to make that money back?
See, and that's what I'm saying. Like the game did not sell well at all, and for the return investment, I don't think that they really got the even. They didn't break even at all.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that if we put AJ Styles in the game and he was on the cover of our marketing material, I know that we would move more copies. But how many more? I don't know. I mean, we tried in the past with our original Kickstarter. We hooked up with Lance Storm, right? And we thought that having the media attention for working with Lance Storm was going to do great for us, but it didn't really seem to increase traffic or anything like that much on top of what we were already doing, right? So
it did boost its credibility.
But
the thing is, Lance Storm is not The Rock. I mean, that's just and he'll admit that much.
It boosted credibility, but I mean, like hard numbers. How many more people are buying the game because wrestler so and so is in it? I don't know. You know?
Exactly. I think it all deals with the gameplay itself and everything, and the hype that people spread throughout, word by word and everything.
Pro Wrestling X isn't really that type of game where it's about, so and so presents Pro Wrestling X. I think we sell more copies by putting a Fire Pro exploding deathmatch in the game than most wrestlers would probably attract to the game. I don't know.
It's got to have some kind of gimmick. But I do say this, even when I first joined, I think that Pro Wrestling X is the biggest, I guess, indie wrestling game that's out there. I have known no game that has this much press, this much attention, or this much hype than Pro Wrestling X from the beginning, from the exception when Dave said that, I'll make my own wrestling game. Because if you think about it, there was no game that people would criticize or even say anything negative more than Pro Wrestling X, or even something positive, because everybody believed in this vision.
Yeah.
So I really do believe that Pro Wrestling X is the biggest indie wrestling game that's out there.
Hey, I'll take it. I don't
No, and no disrespect to like M. Dickey or anything like that. But I'm just saying it didn't get the attention because remember when Pro Wrestling X came, it was for hardcore wrestling fans, like people that love the No Mercy engine. So we was appealing to that kind of audience that was a hardcore audience, and they believed in the vision, And with the lack of updates and stuff throughout the years, it kind of swindled because people lost faith in it. But now, we have a chance to really bring it back with like press and with media attention, things like that.
It's really funny how just these last few months has pretty much silenced and erased all the bad voodoo that the game had to suffer through because of all our bad luck,
Yeah.
It seems like we're finally just being taken for what it is as opposed to any of the crap we've been through. You know what I mean?
But now we're not going to rest, though. There's no resting on the laurels now. That's
Oh.
No way. I said I think that thing has hardened us up to where I think we got to earn it like every step of the way now, and so I feel compelled to like go above and beyond at every step now, just because like I feel like okay, we had all that stuff in our background and the shots were being taken too easily, and so I'm gonna like I said, we're gonna work twice as hard to make sure that they got leave no stone unturned, So all right, gang, I gotta scoot. My voice is shot. Anybody?
Yeah, I'm gonna blast you. Thank you, Robert and Eric, man, for joining me on Twitch tonight. It's great getting together, and thank you all you guys in the chat room, man. I love answering questions, so it's an honor and a privilege to be able to sit here with you guys and be able to chat back and forth. And
so you're gonna be here next week, Dave, or no?
No, sir. I go in for knee replacement surgery Monday morning, and they say that they're going to hold me for 3 to 5 days, so I should be out in time to write the newsletter that Friday. But, I won't be here for Twitch. I'm going to be hopped up on free government narcotic painkillers for a few days.
Then we definitely got to put a microphone in front of you.
Yeah, well, I wonder. I'm not sure if I'm going to have my phone on me, so if I've got Wi-Fi or whatever.
So we'll get the troops rounded up. Try to send you some good karma and good vibes. Thinking about you on Monday, and making sure when you go under the knife. I mean, it's still surgery, so got to send some vibes and get everybody to send you some love.
Well, I'm loading up the tablet with lots of wrestling pay-per-views and movies. So if anybody has any suggestions for something a guy should watch while he's under house arrest for a few days, man, give me some suggestions for stuff to catch up on or watch.
Watch that new previous UFC pay-per-view. I'm about to watch that right now.
Yeah, not bad. Actually, what I need to do is I want to watch all of season 1 of Lucha Underground. And
good idea.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, guys, let's shut her down. Thanks for everybody, man. And, thank you. We look forward to delivering our next update with some flying moves. That's coming next, so look forward to that.
All right, see you guys. Peace out.
See you.